Well, Rick, in this case, a lot. So much that President Donald Trump called him last night to ask how they could get beyond the impasse. If just 3 Republicans vote against this bill, it won't pass.
If the bill doesn't repeal Obamacare and it simply keeps Obamacare and with a new name, I just can't be for that.
After touring a Siemens plant Monday in Louisville, U.S. Senator Rand Paul said the best way to get health insurance to more Americans is by creating more jobs. The Republican also said he cannot support Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell's health care reform bill, designed to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act, because it doesn't go far enough.
But they're only repealing 2 of 12 regulations. The regulations are what add cost to insurance, and they're also what create the death spiral.
Paul says the Senate proposal adds $120 billion in new subsidies to entice insurance companies to cover more people.
It offends me to give a company that makes $15 billion a year subsidies to cover risk. The risk should come out of their profit.
Paul favors market-based approaches, allowing groups such as chambers of commerce to negotiate group rates for the self-employed and legalizing inexpensive, no-frills policies.
Which means if I'm 27 years old and I'm a male and I want cheap insurance, that means it probably wouldn't have pregnancy coverage. I'm just going to say I don't want that and I want a cheaper policy.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell wants a vote on the bill by the end of the week. On the Senate floor Monday, he urged Paul and other Republican holdouts to get on board.
We should keep working so that we can move forward with robust floor debate and an open amendment process here on the Senate floor. I'd encourage all 100 senators to participate, because the American people need better care right now.
Now, Paul says he is open to negotiation. He says he told that to McConnell last week and Trump last night, but he says Republican leadership in the Senate hasn't gotten back to him yet. Mark Vanderhoff, WLKY News.
You know, my biggest concern all along is that I think the Republican bill keeps the fatal flaw of Obamacare. And the fatal flaw of Obamacare is you add regulations or regulatory mandates to insurance. It increases the price of insurance, and then young, healthy people don't buy it, and you get the adverse selection, the death spiral of Obamacare. I think this bill keeps that, and I think it also acknowledges that they keep that because they create a big, huge new entitlement program called a stabilization fund, $130 billion from the federal government. That will go on forever unless you fix the problem. So I'm still concerned we don't fix the problem. I'm concerned that we're going to keep most of the Obamacare subsidies, most of the Obamacare regulations, and create a new federal program. That to me just doesn't sound like repeal. I won't vote to proceed to it unless the bill changes. I spoke to the president, had a long conversation with the president last night. I said I was open to negotiation. We had a great conversation. The president and I get along very well, but no one in Senate leadership has reached out to us. We have reached out to Senate leadership and said we will negotiate. We've had no phone calls from Senate Republican leadership. Thanks.
You're watching Live Satellite News.